Back in the building, back in the building. Stand by, we finna get it started. And we gonna go in on this Mars Day. Mars Day. Get the energy up. All right, man. Yeah, family, we finna tap on in today. Y'all might well come on in, right? Now, one more day this week to put in and I'm straight. And I'm telling you, you might wanna go and share this video. Yeah, family. Hope y'all been doing all right, man. Hope y'all ain't been focusing on that bullshit. You know what I'm saying, man? Cause it's finna get real, man. It's only finna get real. I'm so high. About another little minute, we finna go in. Oh, the topic is about the unknown one, right? The unknown one. The unknown silent one. all right, family. Welcome back, man. Welcome back to another episode of Crisis Counseling. You know what I'm talking about? Where we keep it real and we keep it transparent. You hear me? And so today, man, we finna be going into the Gnostic scriptures, right, and set some things straight. Uh, like I said, I hope everybody doing good, right? Peace to you and yours, right? And stay focused, family. So yeah, like I said, we going into Gnostic scriptures today, and the secret book of John to be exact, right? Now, if you call yourself woke and all of this stuff, and you can't vibrate on this level, then it's all good. But I'm gonna do my best to break things down for you and explain the best way I can as the spirit, taps in with me, family. So we not even gonna speak on none of the stuff that's going on right now, because the real truth is you only have two choices, family, and that's to evolve or repeat. I'm gonna say it again. Two choices: evolve or repeat. And since it's Mars Day, I'm not even gonna say it nice and sweet and lovely. You got two choices: evolve to your God self, and it's even bigger than this word God. All right, evolve to your highest self, back to your soul, or repeat, or die. You know what I'm saying? Die, nigga, die. That's the only choices you got. So you're gonna have to get to a level where you gotta make peace with the things that's blocking you, blocking your chakras, family. The things that's blocking your chakras. Make peace with people that you need to make peace with, right? And leave those alone that you don't want to really mess with. Cause it's gonna get real in the field, family. You hear me? So let's go and get off into these Gnostic scriptures, break some stuff down so people can understand basically what's about to go down. And we gonna start it up from the top, right? Like I said in the secret book of John. And so yeah, evolve or repeat. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Because a lot of people gonna get stuck still dealing with, still worried about racism, still worried about all the madness that's going on, and they not going within. So I'm gonna just start at the one, because I can break it down from the get-go, but like I said, I'm reading from the Nag Hammadi scriptures, and this basically is the real scriptures that they started taking from when they found these things in ancient Kemet, right? Let's go on in. But we talking about how John wanted to know what this different stuff was about, right? And you don't see this person as a actual person. It's just a figment. You got to use your imagination. As I read, we gonna break things down. So the one, this John, he said, I asked if I might understand this. And it said to me, the one is sovereign, right? The one is sovereign, family, that has nothing over it, okay? It is God and parent, right? Father of all, the invisible one that is over the all, okay? The invisible one. We're not talking about this creator that created this realm, right? Because we say we live in an upside down world, a copy of a copy of a copy of what's true to come, right? And this breaks it down on why you came down here, all these different things. So what I left off at, the invisible one that is over over all realms, right? We in like I think it's like let me go back and check. I got it already up. so you can understand. Okay, so we in the third dimension, right? The physical. We all, the people that all have a physical body. This the third dimension. But there's 7 dimensions, right? And we trying to make our way back up to the real dimension, the seventh dimension, right? Because we in the lowest dimension that's ever been created. All right. So let's continue. That is incorruptible, right? That is pure light at which no eye can gaze, right? I already seen the light, and you might seen the light as well, right? Depending on how you've been vibrating. And I seen the light when I was back in church, but when I was speaking about these things, they couldn't even explain it to me. But the Gnostic scriptures break down everything. All right. The one that is the invisible spirit. We should not think of it as a God, family. We should not think of it as a God, right? Or like a God. And this a lowercase God. So we finna break it down. For it is greater than a God because it has nothing over it and no Lord above it, right? It does not exist within anything inferior, family, to it, since everything exists within it, right? We talking about the perfect one, the light, as you want to call Sirius. For it established itself, it is eternal, since it does not need anything. This Sirius don't need anything, don't need nothing. Peace, peace, God, and to the goddesses, man. Appreciate your time and in. So let's go on continue, right? And I left where I said it does not exist within anything inferior to it, since everything exists within it. For it established itself, family. It is eternal, since it does not need anything. Listen, for it is absolutely complete, right? It has never lacked anything in order to be completed by it, though, right? Rather, it is always observably complete in light, right? The one is illimitable, right? Since there is nothing before it to limit it. Unfathomable, family, since there is nothing before it to fathom it. Immeasurable, since there was nothing before it to measure it. Invisible, since nothing has seen it. Eternal, since it exists eternally. Unutterably, since nothing could comprehend it to utter it, family. We talking about the perfect one, right? Unnameable, since there is nothing before it to give it a name, right? The one is immeasurable, like, pure, holy, impeccable. It is unedible and is perfect in incorruptibility. Not that it just perfection or blessedness or divinity, it is much greater. So what we talking about, the things that's about to come is much greater than this bull that we've been trapped in, family, right? The one is not corporeal. It is not incorporeal. The one is not large and is not small, right? It is impossible to say how much it is, what kind it is, right? For no one can understand it. We can truly not understand it, right? The one is not among the things that exist, but is much greater. Not that it is greater, rather as it is in itself, family. It is in itself. It is not a part of the aeons or time, right? And aeons is just it's just a fancy word for the different realms, right? The different galaxies. For whatever is part of a realm was once prepared by another what? By another God, another creator, right? Time was not allotted to it, right? Since it receives nothing from anyone. It receives nothing from anyone. Yes, peace to all, right? Because this what it's all about, sharing this light and this knowledge. So you understand it's about freeing yourself, right? Becoming one with the unknown one. What would be received would be on loan, right? Like this body we in. This body is just a loan, right? The one who is first does not need to receive anything from another. It beholds itself in its light, right? That's why you got to become a light. You got to, the perfect one wants you to raise up to your true self. The one is majestic and has immeasurable purity. The one is a ram that gives a ram, right? Life that gives life. A blessed one that gives blessedness, knowledge to give knowledge, right? A good one that gives goodness, mercy that gives mercy, and redemption, grace that gives grace, family. Not that the one possesses this, rather the one gives immeasurable and incomprehensible light. What shall I tell you about it? Its eternal realm is incorruptible, at peace, dwelling in silence, at rest before everything, family. It is the head of all realms, like I was saying earlier, and it is the one who sustains them through its goodness, the light, the knowledge. We would not know what is ineffable. We would not understand what is immeasurable were it not for the one who has come from the Father, right? The Father, the perfect one. This is the one who has told these things to us alone, right? That's why I said you got to learn how to be alone, right? Because the perfect one is not going to come visit you or speak to you or through you if you got the wrong type of people around you, right? So let's continue. Babylon appears, right? And who is Babylon? Babylon is, if you look up Babylon, it's Barbelo, family. You look it up, and it's basically the ultimate feminine principle, right? So we not talking about the great mother. We talking about the first feminine energy that was ever created, family, right? Because this what it's all about, learning this information. Because I ain't going to be here forever to share it with you, family. And, a lot of people that's conscious and they don't really, read these things. They don't really read these things. They just listening and they hear the videos and stuff, but they not going to actually read these books so the spirit can speak to you. This Father is the one who beholds himself in the light surrounding him, which is the spring of living water, right? We talking about this knowledge, we talking about this information, and provides all the realms, right? He reflects on his image everywhere, sees it in the spring of the spirit, right? And becomes an arm of his luminous water. For his image is in the spring of pure luminous water surrounding him. His thought became reality, and she who appeared in his presence and shining light came forth. We talking about what you want to call the Holy Mother, right? Because remember, God, this God of what we say the perfect one, he created the feminine energy, and she came forth. She is the first power who perceived everything and came forth from his mind as forethought, right? That's why we say we got to get our minds back straight, right? Because everything we thinking, we creating it. Because we have that, we are the chosen ones. We are one with the perfect one, right? Forethought of the all. Her light shines like the Father light, right? She, the perfect power, is the image of the perfect and invisible virgin spirit, family. The virgin spirit. She, the first power, the glory of Babylon, the perfect glory among the eons, or what we call the rams. The glory of revelation. She glorified and praised the virgin spirit for because of the spirit she had came forth, right? She is the first thought, the image of the spirit, right? She became the universal womb, family, for she perceives everything. Now, we going to go and continue because it's going to get real, family. The mother, father, the first human, the Holy Spirit, the triple male, the triple power, the androgynous one with three names, the aeon among the invisible beings, the first to come forth, right? It's getting deeper now. Babylon asked the invisible spirit to give her foreknowledge, and the spirit consented, right? The spirit consented. When the spirit consented, foreknowledge appeared and stood by forethought. So we talking about the different levels. If you know the Kabbalah, right, it's different levels, and that's what we talking about. Babylon was the first level, right? And I think it's called, let's go back to it, aim, right? And then you got forethought, and then you got the other one, aim sutta, then you got aim sutta right? And that's the three levels that came from, the two levels that came from the three levels that came from the perfect one. And then that's when you get the different planets start being created. But we still on the top where everything started from, right? So let's continue. This is the one who came from the thought of the invisible virgin spirit. For knowledge glorified the spirit in the spirit's perfect power. Babylon first, Babylon for because of her foreknowledge had came into being, right? She asked again to be given incorruptibility, and the spirit consented. When the spirit consented, incorruptibility appeared and stood by thought, and foreknowledge. And capability glorified the invisible one and Babylon, right? The perfect one and the Holy Mother. Because of her, they had came into being. Babylon asked to be given life eternal, family, and the invisible spirit consented. When the spirit consented, life eternal appeared, and they stood together and glorified the invisible spirit and Babylon. Because of her, they had came into being. She asked again to be given truth, family, and the invisible spirit consented. Truth appeared, and they stood together and glorified the good invisible spirit and its Babylon. Because of her, they came into being, right? These are the 5 aeons of the Father. They are the first human, family. All right? The first human, the image of the invisible spirit, right? And you know who the first human is. We already said the Holy Mother. The Holy Mother now. And the image of the invisible spirit. This is forethought, which is Babylon and thought, along with foreknowledge, incorruptibility, life eternal, and truth. These are the 5 androgynous aeons, right? Which are the 10 aeons, which is the Father, right? Babylon conceives, right? Let's continue. The Father gazed into Babylon with the pure light surrounding the invisible spirit and his radiance, right? Babylon conceived from him and he produced a spark of light similar to the blessed light, but not as great, right? Not as great as his light or its light, right? This was the only child of the mother father that had came forth, the only offspring, the only child of the Father, the pure light. The invisible virgin spirit rejoiced over the light that was perceived, that came forth from the first power of the spirit's forethought, right? Yeah, we in the Gnostic scriptures, man. We in the real scriptures where it's getting deep, right? Right? We ain't even talking about the demiurge yet. We just talking about where everything started from. We gonna continue though. Um, yes, the Spirit anointed it with His own goodness until it was perfect, with no lack of goodness, right? Since it was anointed with the goodness and the invisible Spirit, family. The child stood in the presence of the Spirit as the Spirit anointed the child. As soon as the child received this from the Spirit, it glorified the Holy Spirit and perfect forethought. Because of her, it came forth, right? The child asked to be given mind, family. We talking about you now. We talking about you now. The child asked to be given mind as a companion to work with, right? And the Spirit consented. When the invisible spirit consented, mind appeared and stood by the anointed and glorified the spirit and Babylon. All these things came into existence in silence, family. Got the God Oreo in here. Peace, my brother. So let's continue. We talking about how we ask to have our mind, right? Then it's gonna get deeper. Mind wished to create something by means of the word and the invisible spirit. Its will became reality and appeared, right? With mind and the light glorifying it. Word followed will. For the anointed, the divine self-generated, created everything by the word, right? Like we say, our words cast spells, family. We create everything with our words. Life eternal, will, mind, and foreknowledge stood together and glorified the invisible spirit and Babylon, the Holy Mother. For because of her, they had came into being. Now like I said, we at the point where we haven't received our body or none of that yet, because we finna get off into it where we break it down how this creator of this reality created all these beings, and basically our bodies got created from them, right? The angels and demons. But let's continue. The Holy Spirit brought the divine self-generated child of his self and Babylon to perfection, so that the child might stand before the great invisible spirit as the divine self-generated, the anointed, who honored the spirit with loud acclaim. The child came forth through forethought. The invisible spirit set the truth, right? Divine self-generated over everything and caused all authority and the truth within subject to it, so that the child might understand everything, right? That's why we down here. That's why we chose to come down here. Because we had some fucked up thoughts at first, and we had to come down here, and that's what we trying to work out. All these messed up thoughts that we having, right? The one called by a name greater than every name, for that name will be told to those who are worthy of it, though, right? So let's continue. The four luminaries, right? From the light, which it is anointed, and from the incorruptibility by the grace of the Spirit, the four luminaries that derive from the divine self-generated, gazed out in order to stand before it. The three beings are your will, right? Your thought, you know what I'm saying? Life, right? The four powers are understanding, right? Grace, perception. Everybody has perception. Your thoughtfulness, right? Grace dwells in the eternal realm, though, of the luminary Hermazel, which is the first angel, right? We talking about the true angels. There are three other aeons, which the eternal realm, right? Who did it? Okay, somebody. Grace, truth, and form, right? The second luminary is let's see how Oriel, right? Who has been appointed over the second eternal realm. There are three other aeons with it, right? Your insight, your perception, your memory. All of these things come from different realms, and you store it up there, right? The third luminary is let's see how we Davy Tucci, right? Yeah, David Tucci, who has been appointed over the third eternal realm, right? There are three other aeons with it. Understanding, right? Your understanding, your love. That's where love come from. Your ideas. That's where it come from. The fourth eternal realm has been set up for the fourth luminary, Elith. There are three other aeons with it, right? Perfection, right? Peace. And then we finally at Sophia, or what we call the great mother of uh this realm, right? Because she had the God that created this shit and tricked us into this thing. Some people, like I said, most of us came down here to help, help the people that's lost and stuff, right? There are four luminaries that stand before the divine self. These are the 12 aeons, right? Or what you want to call, how you want to call them, the zodiac, the zodiac, whatever, right? To stand before the child of the great one, the self-generated, the anointed by the will and grace of the invisible spirit, right? The 12 aeons belong to the child, right? Right? The self-generated, and everything was established by the will of the Holy Spirit through the self-generated, right? So you got to understand that your zodiac signs, we finna get off into it. Let me go on, get off into the fall of Sophia, man. Yeah, the great mother that's over this realm here. Now Sophia, who is the wisdom of insight and consensus aeon, right? Conceived a thought from herself, right? With the conception of the invisible spirit and foreknowledge, she wanted to bring forth something like herself, right? Without the consent of the spirit, right? She didn't ask the spirit, right? Who had not given approval, without her partner and without his consideration, right? The male did not give approval. She did not find her partner, and she considered this without the spirit consent and without the knowledge of her partner. Nonetheless, she gave birth. Gave birth to who? Gave birth to this creator of this world, right? Let's continue. Of this realm. And because of the inconceivable power within her, her thought was not an idle thought, right? We talking about how our thoughts, we create these different things with our thoughts, family. That's what it's basically telling you. Something came out of her that was imperfect and different in appearance from her. For she had produced it without a partner, right? it did not resemble its mother and was misshapen, right? We talking about a dollar broth, right? Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he got a whole lot of different names. When Sophia saw what her desire had produced, it changed it, right? It changed into a figure of a snake, right? With the face of a lion, family, right? The snake represents your kundalini, right? The face of the lion represents your animal, that primal animal nature that's within you, right? Its eyes were like flashing bolts of lightning. She cast it away from her, right? Outside that realm, so that none of the immortals would see it. She had produced it ignorantly, right? Well, we gonna get off into how ignorance is really the true evil, right? She surrounded it with a bright cloud and put a throne in the middle of it, of the cloud, so that none would see it, right, from the other realms except the Holy Spirit, because the Spirit sees everything, right? Who is called the mother of living, right? She named her offspring a dollar broth, right? So we finna go and get off into the archon, right? The mugs that, got you thinking good is good is good for you and evil is bad, right? This is the first ruler, the archon who took great power from his mother, right? He took that light from her. Then he left her and moved away from the place where he was born, right? Came on down to this lower realm, this third dimension. And he took control and created for himself other aeons with luminous fire, right? That fire, that kundalini energy, which still exists, right? He matted with the mindless, right? In him and produced authorities for himself, right? And I ain't gonna be saying all these names, right? Because I ain't, we gonna keep it going though. The name of the first is Adath, whom generations call the Reaper, right? So we talking about the Reaper, death. The second is Harmos, who is the jealous eye, right? The third is Kalala Umbre. The fourth is Yebel. The fifth is Adenos, who is called Sabbatha. Yeah, Sabbatha. The sixth is Cain, right? Whom generations of people call the sun, that sun that you see out there, right? The seventh is Abel. The eighth is Aberson. The ninth is Yobel. The tenth is Armor Armor Armorpil. The 11th is Melchior Adonin. The 12th is Bellis, right? Who is over the depth of the depth of the underworld, right? So you get these 12 different things, right? Basically, these 12 zodiacs, signs, whatever you want to call them, they flipped it on us. So a dollar broth stationed 7 kings, right? One for each sphere of heaven, right? Talking about the planets now. The reign over the 7 heavens, and 5 to reign over the depths of the abyss, right? This abyss we in as well. He shared his fire with them, but he did not give away any of the power of the light, right? So he shared the Kundalini energy with them, but he didn't give them none of that light that he stole from the great mother. He had taken from his mother, right? For he is ignorant, right? Darkness, right? When light mixed with darkness, it is made it made the darkness shine, right? Like when I was sharing how I seen my soul when you come to this realm, you have that darkness mixed with light. And so you gotta master the darkness, right? When darkness mixed with light, it dimmed the light, right? It dimmed your soul, family. When you came through in this realm, that darkness dimmed your light, your soul. It became neither light nor darkness, but rather a gloom, right? And that's why it's gonna get harder for people. Because if they don't gonna shine that light, they're gonna get stuck and they're gonna have to repeat this shit over again till they understand. You gotta get all of this different shit out your DNA, right? This gloomy archon has three names. The first is the dollar broth, right? Sakala, and the third is Samuel. You know Samuel. Everybody heard that name before. And the same God. He is wicked in the mindlessness with him, right? And we finna get off into it and you gonna see why he a fucking jealous God. He said, I am a God and there is no other God beside me, right? Since he did not know from where his own strength had came from, family. The rulers each created 7 powers for themselves, and the powers each created 6 angels, right? He created his own angels, but you know, them angels don't like you as well, because I'm telling you, it's deep, family. Until there were 365 angels, family. Uh, we just gonna go on, continue. These are the names of the composing psychics, right? The first is Aleph. He has a face of a sheep, right? When you're saying we talking about all these different things, these different angels that he created. The other one had a face of a donkey, right? The third had a face of a hyena, and y'all he had the face of a snake with 7 heads, right? And then the fifth one had just a face of a snake. And sixth one had a face of an 8, and the seventh had a face of flaming fire, right? And let's continue. These are sevenfold. This is the sevenfold nature of the week, family, right? The 7 days, right? A dollar broth has many faces, more than all of these, so that he could show whatever face he wanted, right? Shape shifting, right? We all have that ability too, but we've been dumbed down so much, right? We done lost these different powers or locked them away because we believe we fucking human, right? He wanted, was among the seraphim. He shared his fire with them and lorded over them because of the glorious power he had from his mother, right? Mother's light. This is why he called himself God and defied the place from which he came from, right? And by him doing that, he cursed everything in this realm. And then you're finna see why this shit going down the way it's going down until we truly wake up, right? It's gonna get worse for those who don't anyway. Let's continue, family. In his thought, he united the 7 powers with the authorities that were with him, right? When he spoke, it was done, right? When he said, let there be light, it was done, right? Y'all know the story. But we getting into the deep, the esoteric forms of this stuff, the real scriptures, right? He named each of the powers, beginning with the highest, right? The first, goodness, right? The second, forethought. But like I said, he was doing all these different things, copying the perfect one. Third was divinity. The fourth was lordship. Fifth was the kingdom, right? 6 is jealousy, right? You wonder why all these stuff going on. 7 is understanding, right? Each has a spirit in its own realm, right? Still talking about how the different planets was formed. They were named after the glory above for the destruction of powers, although the names given them by their maker were powerful. The names given them after the glory above, right, the true realm, would bring about their destruction and loss of power, family. This is why they have two names, right? So let's continue. Adalabroth organized everything after the pattern of the first eons, right? The true realm. He came into being so that he might create everything in an incorruptible form, right? This body, you gotta eat, right? You gotta sleep, right? You gotta use the restroom and all these different things, right? And try to maintain this body as much as you can till you go, right? Not that he seen the incorruptible ones, rather the power that is in him, right? That was in him anyway, because he ain't got it no more. That he had taken from his mother produced in him the pattern for the world order, right? See, you thinking that this shit is the white man. Nah, this shit is on a whole nother cosmic level. So you worried about the white man and all that other bull jive when we being targeted from a whole nother level, family. Until you change the way you think and come back to your saneness, right? We was born crazy. We was born in this craziness. When he saw creation surrounding him and a throng of angels around him that had came forth from him, he said to them, I am a jealous God, and there is no other God besides me. That's what he truly said, right? But by announcing this, he suggested to the angels with him, there is another God, right? Because they still had some form of thinking. They thought they still had the power to think for themselves. So they knew by him just saying that it suggested to them that it was another God, right? For if there was no other God, of whom would he be jealous of, right? Whom would he be jealous of? Let's continue. Sophia repented, right? She repented for what she did, right? Let's go on into it. The mother began to move around. She realized that she was lacking something, right? When the brightness of her light diminished, right? She lost that light. Like we said, you lost your light when you came down into this realm. She grew dim because her partner had not, you know, calibrated with her, right? He wasn't there with her, and that's how powerful the woman truly is. She used to be able to have children without a man, right? Let's continue. Without the masculine energy. I said, Lord, what does it mean that she moved around? And you know what I'm saying? We remember when we saying the Lord, we only talking about your divine self. This John talking to his divine self, trying to ask, right? So don't get it twisted, family. And the Lord laughed, right? His higher self laughed and said, do not suppose that it is Moses said above the waters, right? Don't get it twisted, family. The waters is this ram as well. That was the flood, right? We gonna continue though. No, when she recognized the wickedness that had taken place and robbery her son had committed, she repented. When she became forgetful in the darkness of ignorance, right? We in ignorance because we in the darkness, right? She began to be ashamed, family. She did not dare to return, but she was agitated. This agitation is the moving around, right? That's why we say Melanin never rests, right? It's always moving. It's always moving, right? You never rest. You go to sleep, you always moving, family. The arrogant one took power from his mother. He was ignorant, for he thought no one existed except his mother alone, right? We already broke it down earlier. When he saw the throng of angels he had created, he exalted himself over them. When the mother realized that the trappings of darkness had came into being imperfectly, right? She understood that her partner had not contributed with her. She repented with many tears. The whole realm of fullness, right? Every realm heard her prayer of repentance and offered praise on her behalf to the invisible spirit, though, right? And the spirit consented, right? When the invisible spirit consented, the Holy Spirit poured upon her some of the fullness of the all, right? Of this unknown one, right? For her partner did not come to her on his own, but he came to her through the realm of fullness, right? So that he might restore what she lacked. She was taken up not to her own eternal realm, right? She wasn't taken up to her own eternal realm, but instead to a position above her son, right? So it's all good. She she was to remain in the ninth heaven until she restored what was lacking in herself. Man, let's go and get off into it now. We finna talk about how the human body appeared, and it's gonna be, shoot, we almost at an hour. That fast, man. Time speeding up. All right, the human appears, family. A voice called to the from the exalted heaven realm, right? Now this what we seeing. This is where it kind of get tricky. So you gotta, like I said, you gotta vision this stuff in your mind, and you'll understand. You can see it. Humanity exists, and the child of humanity, right? Now this was what Adalabroth heard. The first ruler Adalabroth heard from the voice and thought it had came from his mother. He did not realize its source, right? So this what we gonna get where we talk about a copy of a copy, right? The holy perfect mother, father, the complete forethought, the image of the invisible one being the father of the all, family. The father of the all, through whom everything came into being, the first human, right? Basically, right? The Big Bang. This is what it's talking about, family. This is the one who showed them and appeared in a human shape, right? The first human shape. Your true body, right? Your true body. The entire realm of the first ruler quaked and the foundations of the abyss shook, right? The bottom side of the waters above the material world, though, was lit up by this image, right? What we, like I said, talking about the Big Bang, when the perfect human, your real body was manifested and created. It showed this image, right? Because we say it's different levels, right? This realm is made out of all water, but on the higher realms, it's made out of all water as well. That's all it is. Let's continue. Big body of water we in, but we trapped because we see the illusion. That's the flood, family. When all the authorities in the first ruler stared at its appearance, they saw the whole bottom side, and it was lit up, right? Because he gave that light lit up, right? And they could see through the other realm because the light was so bright. And through the light, they saw the shape of the image in the water, right? Then it's gonna get into the creation of Adam, and I'm we probably wrap it up after this one. Let's see though. The creation of Adam, right? The atoms that make up your body, family. this human body, right? Adalabrov said to authorities with him, "Come, let's create a human being after the image of God with the likeness of ourselves," though, right? Because remember, they had these different they had these different figures, right? That's what you get the zodiacs from. These different uh half human, half animal, right? Same with the stuff on the walls of the chips. They showing you, you know, you got this lowest nature and this higher nature, right? So that this human image may give us light, right? That's what this creator of this world created. His version of his humans, right? To give him light, because he only had so much, right? They created through their, you know, respective powers according to features that were given. Each of the authorities contributed a cyclical. And when we talking about cyclical, we talking about or psyche, right? Or basically just another fancy word for soul. Feature considering to fit to the figure of the image they had seen, right? They created a being like the perfect first human, right? Your true self, and said, let's call it Adam or Atom, right? This is the name, yeah, this its name may give us power of light, right? That's why he called it that. The powers began to create, right? The first one, goodness created a soul of bone, right? Soul of bone. The second forethought created a soul of sinewy. The third divinity created a soul of flesh, right? The fourth lordship created a soul of marrow, right? All of these things uh, that makes up your body. The fourth kingdom created a soul of blood, right? The sixth jealousy created a soul of skin, right? It's deep. The seventh understanding created a soul of hair, right? All of these different things. The throne of angels stood by and received these seven cyclical substances from the authorities in order to create a network of limbs and trunk with all the parts properly arranged, right? Whew. Man, bruh, we're gonna keep going though. The first one is Rapio. Begin by creating the head, right? And we just gonna keep going because I ain't gonna be saying all their names. Uh, the next one created the skull. Then the next one created your brain, family. One created your right eye. The next one created your left, and so on and so on, right? Uh, like I said, I don't want to say these names because I don't want to be invoking none of these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? But y'all get the point, right? Uh, let's go and see. Cause like I said, I don't want to be invoking none of them motherfucking names. And we gonna just go to the next little deal, right? The imprisonment of humanity, family, right? This is the real deal where it separates the boys from, you know, the boys from the men, the girls from the women. The human being Adam or Atom was revealed through the bright shadow within, and Adam's ability to think was greater than all of the creators, family. Now you finna understand why he a jealous God, right? Because you have the ability to think greater than this creator that created you, right? Let's continue. When they looked up, they saw that atom ability to think was greater, right? You have the ability to think greater than this creator. And then you'll understand why he a jealous God. And they devised a plan with the whole throng of archons and angels. They took fire, right? Fire. What's the fire? These different elements are uh, the fire. You got to remember the fire represents your kundalini, right? Earth and water. All of these different things that are within you, and combine them with four fiery winds. I'm sorry. I apologize. They wrote them together and made a great uh, commission, right? The rulers brought atom into the shadow of death so that they might produce a figure again, right? Because they knew the black man had this power. He had this great ability to think for his damn self, right? And this what we trying to get back to, thinking for yourself. You get lost and trapped into this creator that don't want you to raise up out this illusion realm, family, right? So he created another figure again from earth, water, fire, and the spirit that comes from matter, right? This is from the ignorance of darkness and desire, family, and they own phony spirit, right? And y'all already know who the phony spirits are. This figure is the cave for remodeling the body that these criminals put on the human to feather of forgetfulness, right? That's why we say once you come down here, you basically dumb. You done lost all your senses of who you truly are, because who you think you are, you really not, right? You came down here for a reason to figure this shit out. Why you had all these different messed up thoughts. Adam became a mortal person, the first to descend and the first to become estranged, right? Enlightened insight with Adam, however, was rejuvenating his mind. The archons took Adam and put Adam in paradise, right? Took your soul and put you in this paradise, right? We ain't even broke now this realm yet. We still on the other realm, the other illusion realm. They said eat, meaning do so in a luxury manner, right? Right? Why would he tell you to do these things? Because this motherfucker really sick in the head. And if you don't get his DNA up out you, you're going to be lost, family. But in fact, their pleasure is bitter and their beauty is uh, perverse, right? All of these different things, you get trapped into their illusion. Their pleasure is a trap, right? Their trees are sacrilege. Their fruit is deadly poison, and their promise is death, right? Promise you know one thing. You know you gonna fucking die, right? Right? We eat all this different food, but at the end of the day, it don't matter if you fucking vegan or not. The food, the more you eat, the more you putting poison in you, right? And y'all already know. Let's continue. I shall teach you what the secret of their lives is, the plan they diverse devise together, the nature of their spirit, right? Not the spirit, but their spirit, right? Then you understand why people lost right now and going through it, because they running off the nature of their spirit. And what's the nature of their spirit? That animal nature, family. You gotta get that shit out you. The root of their tree is bitter. Its branches are death. Its shadow is hatred, right? All these different negative stuff you gotta overcome. A trap is in its Its leaves, right? It is yeah, its blossom is bad anointment. Its fruit is death. Desire is its seeds, right? That's why we say you gotta be you can be in the world but don't be of the world, right? All of that stuff comes from these Gnostic scriptures. It blossoms in darkness. The dwelling place of those who taste of it is the underworld, right? This underworld we in. And darkness is their resting place, right? But the archons lingered in front of what they call the tree of knowledge, family, of good and evil, right? Tree of knowledge of good and evil. Can you get that Kabbalah? You know what I'm talking about? It breaks it down, which is enlightened insight, so that Adam might not behold his fullness and recognize his shameful nakedness, right? And what is the nakedness, right? You think you really think this your body, but you so naked, right? Your real body is not even, it's far away from where you think it is, right? And so that's what they mean by this nakedness, this ignorance. You came into this body. But I was the one who introduced them to eat, right? And who induced them to eat? I said to the Savior, right? This John, remember this John, the made up John, right? Talking to his higher self, his Lord, right? That's who your Lord is, your higher self, family. Let's go. What is not the serpent? What is not Was it not the serpent that instructed Adam to eat? Right? And this is where we get back to what is the Savior, yourself, your higher self laughed and said, the the serpent instructed them to eat of the wickedness of sexual desire and destruction, so that Adam might be of use to the serpent, right? But when we talking about the serpent, we talking about this creator that created this thing. So he was playing tricks with them, fam. The first ruler knew Adam was disobedient to him because of enlightened insight within Adam, right? That's what we talking about. That's why he jealous. Because you got some insight that he ain't got a hold of, right? Because by him trying to be this one God, only God, he cursed him down self, and his own creation became more powerful and enlightened than him, which made Adam stronger of mind than he, right? He wanted to recover the power that he himself had passed on to Adam, right? And this why he goes into, so he brought deep sleep upon him, right? This the sleep that you in, right? The sleep of ignorance, right? Put you to sleep, right? Then you just woke up into a whole nother realm, planet Earth. Welcome to the Matrix, right? I said to the Savior, what is this deep sleep, right? The Savior, we talking about your higher self, right? And he just, remember, family, just take what you know out and just see these different people as different versions of you. Is it not as Moses wrote, you heard, right? He said in his first book, he put Adam to sleep, right? Let's see what this sleep really means, family. Rather, this deep sleep was a loss of sense, right? You lost the sense of who you fucking truly are. You lost the sense of where you truly come from. You think you from planet fucking Earth. Man, you far from this motherfucker, right? You far from this motherfucker. And if you keep on falling for the traps, you gonna fucking die. Come back down to this motherfucker and do it all over again till you regain your fucking sense. To the brother that was telling me, oh, you gotta play crazy to make. No, niggas, the time to fucking play crazy is over with. You better come to your fucking senses or you gonna fucking die. Bottom line, evolve or repeat, nigga. That's all you got. You keep playing fucking crazy, you gonna go fucking crazy. Thus, the first ruler said through the prophet, right? You a fucking prophet. Everybody can be this prophet, right? Because you using your words, family. You using your forethought, your knowledge, your will. All of these different things are within you. You greater than this creator. I shall make their minds sluggish, that they may never understand nor discern. You down here, you fucking dumb. Until you wake up, my nigga, you out of there. Till you wake up, you can call yourself a god all day. Till you start be able to shake the sleep from your motherfucking eyes. Wipe the sleep from your eyes. Wipe the sluggishness from your mind. You know what I'm saying? Get back your discernment. You've been stripped away from all of that because that's what it was, the sleep, yo. The sleep is the loss of your sense of who you truly are, right? Of who you truly are. The creation of Eve, right? Enlightened, right? Insight hid herself within Adam, right? And Eve is just a fancy word for life, family. The creator that gave you life, right? That helped you raise you, right? That's why we say the black woman is God, right? But you don't understand this shit. You just saying that shit. But you don't know the full meaning. The first ruler wanted to take her from Adam's side or Atom's side, the atoms that make up you, right? But enlightened insight could not be apprehended, right? Your consciousness cannot be apprehended. Like we were saying in the Metal Human book, you can't get beyond consciousness. But if you not trying to become conscious, your ass gonna stay asleep. Although darkness persuaded her, it did not apprehend her. Apologize. It did not apprehend her. The first ruler removed part of Adam's power and created another figure in the form of a female, right? That's what we talk about. He'd say he took Adam's rib and all of that bullshit. It's just he created another figure in the form of a female, right? So you got on, like we were saying a couple lives back, just because she looked like a woman don't mean she a female, family, right? Don't mean she a female. Let's continue. Like the image of insight that had appeared to him, he put the part he had taken from the power of the human being into the female creature, right? It did not happen, however, the way Moses said it. Adam's real, right? Adam's real. I just got through saying that earlier. The spirit working. Adam saw the woman beside him. At once, enlightened insight appeared and removed the veil that covered his mind, right? Took that shit that was placed over his mind and this what it talks about. He sobered up from his drunkenness, right? You down here drunk. You don't even understand who you is. You lost, right? We are alien to this world, right? The most alien race to this world. Why? Because we not from here. We didn't start from here, family. He recognized his counterpart, and said, "This is now bone of my bones, right? And flesh from my flesh." But the church had you thinking, you know what I'm saying, this shit was literal, right? Nah, this shit is esoteric. This shit is really spiritual. The church ain't teaching you nothing but watered down shit to keep you drunk and lost, right? For this reason, a man will leave his father and his mother and will join himself to his wife, right? Because you really androgynous. But the creator that created you split you in half, right? So that's why you see everybody want to be in love and all this stuff. They trying to find that other part of them that was separated, because you come together, you become one, androgynous, right? And the two of them will become one flesh. androgynous, right? The masculine and the feminine energy. For his partner will be sent to him, right? And he will leave his father and his mother. Our sister, or the great mother, Sophia, is the one who descended in an innocent manner to restore what she lacked, for the reason she was called life, right? This, yeah, that is the mother of the living by the forethought of the sovereignty, the sovereignty of heaven, and by the insight that appeared, family, to Adam or the atom or the black man, however you want to say it, family. Don't get twisted with these. Don't take the names literal, right? These names are made like that because it's hidden truth, but you got to reveal it yourself. Words are spells. Through her have the living tasted perfect knowledge, right? Because that's why we say, you know, that's because she gave the forethought and the sovereignty for us so we can become greater than its creator. For me, I appeared in the form of an eagle, right? As of me, I have appeared in the form of an ego, right? You know who the fucking ego is, right? Who is the eagle, family? Somebody drop it down there in the box if you know who the eagle is, right? We talk about all these niggas talking about Jesus, fuck Jesus and stuff. You the Christ. You the eagle. Horus. You the eagle. You the eagle. Right? Hey Rule. That's the eagle, family. Right? And he said he appeared in the form of an eagle upon the tree of knowledge, right? And so let's go back to my picture to the Kabbalah, right? The crown of knowledge, right? That's the top fucking cipher. The crown of that's what we talking about, the crown. The crown on the top. That's the seventh dimension, right? This the tree we talking about. The tree, the Kabbalah, right? That's what the tree he talking about. Um, let's continue, man. Cause he say, let's continue. Which is the insight of the pure enlightened forethought, right? That I might teach the human beings and awaken them from the death of sleep, right? But they got you thinking that this is an individual person. It's nothing but your true soul, right? Your true soul started on the very top of the tree of knowledge, the crown. And forgot the name of which that one is. The the Dhamma Kari, right? The Dhammakari, that's the top eon. And we talking about the tree, not no actual fucking tree, family. They'll have you sleep thinking about these different things if you don't know what you're looking at. All right, for the two of them were falling and realized that they were naked, right? Realized that they was naked. They was missing something, right? And sight appeared to them as light and awakened their minds, right? So, man, we gonna keep going, family. It's all good. It ain't number 10. A dollar brought defiles Eve, right? So now we finna talk about how this creator defiled the fucking thing that he created, right? The not the true form of the woman, but the form that he created, right? Life. And now you finna understand why this shit's so fucked up. When the Dolobroff realized that the humans had withdrawn from him, he cursed Earth, right? He cursed Earth. God, this creator, cursed Earth. He found the woman as she was preparing herself for her husband, right? He was master over her. He did not know that the mystery that had came into being through the sacred plan, that the two of them were afraid to denounce Adalabrov, right? He displayed to his angels the ignorance within him, and he threw the humans out of paradise, right? So now we getting to to the meat of a little bit of the meat, right? So you can see what it's all about, and cloak them in thick darkness, right? Like we was talking about earlier, this darkness that we in, the world that we in now. The first ruler saw that the young woman standing next to Adam or Atom and noticed that the enlightened insight of life appeared in her. Yet Adalabrov was full of ignorance. So when the forethought of the all realized this, she dispatched em- uh, emissaries, and they stole life out of Eve, right? Stole life out of Eve, out the black one. The first ruler defiled Eve and pronounced and produced in her two sons, family, right? The first and the second, right? Elohim and Yahweh. Elohim and Yahweh. Cain, Abel. Elohim has the face of a bear. Yahweh has the face of a cat. One is just and the other is unjust. Right? Cain, Abel. Your human nature, your animal nature, your higher nature. Right? That's why we say you gotta pick which side. You can't be on both sides. You gotta choose which side you're gonna be on. Your animal nature or your higher nature. Right? He placed Yahweh over fire and wind. He placed Elohim over the water, right? And earth. Over the space and earth. Over space and earth. Right? The fire, you know what the fire is. The kundalini. The wind, the breath. Your breath. That's why they want you wearing this mask, right? Let's continue. To this day, sexual intercourse has proceeded because of the first ruler, right? He planted sexual desire within the woman who belongs to Adam through intercourse. The first ruler produced duplicate bodies, right? Because remember, he raped Eve, right? Duplicate bodies. And he blew some of his false spirit into them, right? That's why we say all of this different DNA within you. Some of this shit you gotta get out of you, family. You gotta get it up out you. He placed these two rulers over the elements so that they might rule over the cave, right? Rule over the cave. When Atom to Nu, when Adam came to Nu, the counterpart of his own for knowledge, he produced a son like the child of humanity, right? Called him Set. After the manner of generation in the eternal realms, right? Set, Sirius. Similar, the mother sent down her spirit, which is like her, is a copy of what is in the realm of fullness, right? It's just another copy. For she was going to prepare a dwelling place for the eternal realms that will come down, right? Like we said, all of these different things is about to come down within you, family. Why? Because as above, so below. But since the Creator did all of these different things and was trying to curse her, curse earth, curse the black woman, curse the black man, and tried to make his own little, you know, little situation. He cursed his own self, and then bam, reverse. Everybody gets to become their own universe, right? They own universe, right? Uh, the human beings were made to drink water from of forgetfulness, right? Like we saying, you forgot everything, right? You forgot every fucking thing. And so you had to get this body, you had to drink that water of forgetfulness, right? But the first rulers, so that they might not know where they had came from. You don't know where you came from. You think you from planet Earth. For the time the seed remained and helped, so that when the spirit descended from the holy realms, it may raise up the seed and heal what it lacks. For the entire realm of forgiveness may be holy and lacking nothing. Right? And so, man, we gonna get back into the. We gonna leave. That's gonna be it for the now. I mean, yeah, that's gonna be it for now. Next time, we're gonna get on the human destiny, right? So you can know why you really fucking down here. Cause if you get trapped into the madness and you lose it, family, right? People finna get even more crazier and fucking crazier because they lost into the illusion, right? They lost into the illusion. And I'm only reading this shit, like I said, to share with the family, man. Get the book, man. Right? The spirit gonna reveal whatever, you know, but you gotta wanna know this shit. So next time we gonna get on the human destiny. That was a lot of reading, man. And that's only the surface, right? That's only the surface. I think this book is like, yeah, it's a 845 page book, but that's what it's about, family. We trying to get back to the seventh dimension, back to the perfect one, the silent one, right? You got to raise up to your God self, right? Because we move into the fifth dimension. That's what I wanted to say. So we in the third. Okay, so yeah. So the third dimension deals with the physical body. Then we moving on into the fourth and the fifth dimensional, right? But it's still a lower fifth dimension. So you got people that stuck on a fourth dimension that's dead because they still trapped in another form of illusion. And we moving on in to the fifth dimension, right? Which is everything coming down, like we just said, everything coming down to us, right? All of this knowledge, all of this power. But if you get stuck and you're not trying to raise up to your truer self, right? You're gonna get trapped into the lower fifth dimension once we make it back. Once the fifth dimension get here, right? It's already here. Basically, it's just that's why all the madness going on. Uh, that's why they trying to pump this corona second wave and all this other stuff, family. Cause they trying to stop it, but they can't stop it. So that's gonna probably be it for today, family. We gonna continue probably another day, but that's gonna be it, man. Gave him a good, nice little sip of some information. But once we get to the fifth dimension, that's where your astral body, that's where your astral body and the mental body is at. So we move into the fifth dimension, that's where your astral body and your mental body is at. So you gonna have to learn, right? Because, like I said, more people finna get crazy and crazier as we get closer, as this dimension get closer to us. As above, so below. Everything about to come down, and you gotta shake it off. You gotta shake that sleepiness off, for real. So we gonna get on off into this outro, and we gonna bounce out. I appreciate everybody timing in. I know it was a lot of reading. Let's go. Universe. Uni means one song, verse means one truth. Words cast spells, that's why they call it spelling. Words are energy, use them wisely. Why? Because the cells in your body react to everything your mind says. Negativity brings down your immune system, so you gotta be careful with how you speak. Words create worlds, right? Words create your reality. You gotta become a master of the language you speak. You gotta know the words that you speak, because you can bring down everything you speak into existence. So if you keep saying you sick, you gonna get sicker. If you keep saying you broke, you won't get no money, right? This is the trick, family. Words cast spells. Words create worlds. You already know. We the truth. Gonna fill that cup up. All right, family, man. Great bill today, man. Like I said, when you get off into this stuff, bruh, it gets long, man. The time speed up, right? And you can see that, right? I've been on here almost, an hour and a half. And I ain't even, touched the surface of this thing. And so now, now you can see why, the different people, the master teachers like Uncle Bobby and all these people done spent hours and hours trying to explain this thing. And you lose track of time and everything, family. So we gonna pick back up where we left off, right? Where I left off at, gotta make sure I put my bookmark on the Kindle. Yeah, on Human Destiny, we're gonna get back on that the next live. And so this way it separates the boys from the men, right? The real gods from the men. Um, is real, family. But like I said, I'm not here to change nobody's mind. I'm only here to put, do my part. Once I'm done, I'm slowly letting go everything, right? You gotta slowly let go of everything. The racism, the hatred, right? All the stuff that you've been through. You gotta understand you put yourself in these things so you can eventually wake up. Like I was saying earlier, I get so many messages. Can you tap in? Can you tap in? Tell me who I was in a past life. It's about who you are now, right? I could tell you about how I was, uh, you know, priest and I don't like to call it Egypt, but Kemet, right? I could tell you about all my different past lives, but like I say, I'm not that version of me no more, right? I used to be a lecturer, but now I'm back on it, just sharing the information. You take it for what you want to take it for, you know. But as the world continues to go through what it's going through, people gonna become more crazier and crazier because you thinking you a fucking human when you not, right? You thinking you this small thing when you bigger and greater than what you perceive yourself to be or what they told us who we are, right? So remember that your words cast spells, your thoughts, all of these different things create these energies, right? We talk about how a dollar broth is nothing but your ego, your ignorance, right? And ignorance is the mother of all evil, right? All evil because it keeps you trapped in your animal nature and not your higher nature, family. Not your higher nature. And so you got to learn how to become back with the source energy, right? It's okay to have silence and peace, right? It's okay to block, you know, the illusion out sometimes. It's okay to meditate. Excuse me. It's okay to understand, right, that you came down here to figure out why you was having all these crazy thoughts and play that shit out. So eventually, you know, once you die, right, Brother Panic already broke it down in his video that the let's go to it. That doth or death means knowledge, right? But you so scared of fucking death, right? You so scared of death and you trying to cling on to life so much that you only going crazier and crazy. Like Uncle Bobby Hemmett says, you gotta learn how to let go. You gotta learn how to let it go, right? You got to learn how to let go and give up. And when we saying give up, stop trying to, stop trying to chase things that you think that's gonna make you happy, right? The only thing that's gonna make you happy is within you. You can have all the money in the world. You can have every material thing you name. But you know this shit never lasts, right? It never lasts, right? Don't build your kingdom down here. What we say? Your treasure should be placed up in heaven, right? The true realm. But we get conscious and people think that, oh, this nigga reading these scriptures again, right? But you gotta remember, we had these things hidden. When they found them, they just took the Nazi scriptures and flipped it on us. So you can stay lost and think that it's about this man when you the Christ, you the light, you are greater than the creator. You are greater than the God, what we call ourselves, right? But it's that's just a simple form of it, right? You are a chaos being. You the Titans that they talk about. So with all that being said, family, I shared that with y'all today, man, just because, like I said, I ain't wanna end this month out with a little something for you, right? And that's what I'm saying. Once I get through reading all of these different chapters that I'm gonna be coming with for the next few lives, I'm gonna be done with it, family. I already got enough videos on here for the people to watch and make their mind up. But that's what it's coming to. You gotta make your mind up. Evolve or repeat. Evolve or repeat. Or evolve or die, nigga, die. And come back to this hellhole, your body, this planet, right? They can have this planet. I wanna go back to where I'm from. Saturn, right? Saturn. And what I said, Saturn, let's go see. I think Saturn is one of the top dimensions. We all planets, right? We all planets. But if you keep thinking you this zodiac sign, you gonna be ruled by a planet instead of rule the planets. That's why I say happy Mars Day, happy Venus and Mercury, all of these things, because I'm not ruled over these planets anymore, right? I'm not ruled over my zodiac sign because I done raised up from that shit, right? So, Saturn is the Nereminka, the Nereminka. That's what emanation body is, or what they call Bina. So we gonna get back into it tomorrow, man. Knock this last day off. Like I said, family, I was pulling them down. Yeah, I did 20 hours Sunday, rolling into Monday, and did 12 hours today. And so it's like, I'm grateful, man. I can't complain about nothing. I'm not gonna stress over nothing. And you shouldn't either. You got people that's worried about what doctor, these fake ass doctors talking about this shit, man. You gotta let go of all of this shit, or you gonna go crazy. So with all that being said and presented, everybody that timed in, peace be to you and yours. Keep y'all motherfucking mind right. Keep your thoughts in line. Keep your emotions and chakras, you know what I'm saying? Make sure all of this shit is great. I know it's hard, right? And it's not really hard. It's just that you want to be, you can't be in the world and be of the world at the same time, right? You can, but you're gonna keep catching more hell. That's why we saying it's gonna only get worse for people, because they don't want to let go of this racist shit go, right? You being exploited on a cosmic scale until you understand that you gonna think it's the white man, right? You're gonna think it's the white man. You're gonna think it's all of these different stuff when it's all on you at the end of the day. It's all on how you view this thing, right? It's all on you. Uh, you got a lot of people that's just being news reporters. They ain't really giving you this knowledge. Right now, man, I'm at probably the best peace I done been in my whole time in this incarnation, family. Right? With all the madness going on. You know what I'm saying? I can still feel peace, feel joy, feel all of these things from the higher realm, right? Instead of stressing, letting this shit drive you crazy, worrying. That's why you think they got the social distance stuff going on, man. Cause they want you to, if you alone and all that shit, you stuck in the house. All you thinking about is this bullshit. Every hour you wake up on the same bullshit every day. Fuck Jesus. This all this craziness, right? The madness. You the Christ. You the Lucifer that fell. But you can raise back up to who you truly are if you just stop thinking fucking crazy. Start thinking sane. So back to what the brother was saying, whatever he said, Seal said, you gotta be a little crazy to make it through. You keep listening to these type of people, your ass gonna stay crazy, right? You're gonna stay in the madness. You're gonna stay suffering, because the ignorance is real. The ignorance don't want you to be enlightened. The ignorance wants you to stay in the darkness. The ignorance don't want you to create. The ignorance wants you to, do all of these crazy things to appease your ego, when you need to be giving your ego what it really needs so you can find peace, right? Because the darkness is here. The darkness is here. The archons and the demiurge is here. And they looking for anybody that's going to give up that energy, right? Just as the fifth dimension is coming down and is looking for anybody that has the true light within them. It's not dimming their light. Become who you truly are, right? And we talking about become who you are in the now. Don't hit me up asking me to tap in who you was in the past. So many people stuck on this slavery stuff. Get out of that shit, man. Let it go. Let it go. Because it's weighing your heart down, and your heart won't be light as a feather, family. It won't be light as a feather. We created this shit through our ego and through our ignorance. Because we had some fucked up thoughts. And that's why we had to separate ourselves from the source energy, right? And the Holy Mother, the feminine energy, right? The masculine and the feminine energy. So we could come down here and experience this shit depending on what type, how you came down here. So you can understand and work some things out and go on back to your throne. And then you got a throne, but if you don't get the knowledge here, some that galaxy or whatnot, you don't get to live as that ultimate being. You get stuck in the darkness. So man, it's almost 2 hours, family. I gotta be back at it tomorrow. Then I think I'm gonna be straight Thursday and Friday, I think. But I'm gonna be back at it over the weekend. So then the blue pill kicking in now. So it's about time to lay it down. And peace to the gods and goddesses. Become who you are, rising power to the ancestors. Got Beetlejuice energy that's coming down. And if you can't focus on what you want, you're going to focus on the madness, right? And you're going to keep creating more madness in your life. Let all of the bullshit go. Forget the celebrities. Forget all of this stuff that's going on. Stop feeding your energy into it. Because the demiurge are mind parasites. They want your light. He created you to steal the light from you. That's why he a jealous God. And it always gonna be. And he gonna try to keep you down here forever. Because without you, they don't exist. Without you, they don't exist. Right? So, y'all have a great one, man. We gonna time back in. I ain't gonna say when, but make sure you subscribe, right? Subscribe so you know when I'm live. Because like I told you, family, I ain't gonna be here forever. They gonna beam me up out of here because my soul called to be back regardless. That's why I like, let me finish the work, put it out there. Peace, family. To all gods known and unknown. Ashe.